You start with a little disassembly work. These 3 forward hat sections have to come out, of course. That's to begin the process, and then we'll move on out to this rib and the next rib and get that out of there and just start cutting some skins. This video just wouldn't be any fun if we didn't get a little cutting action in there. Seems to be a crazy thing to do to a nice wing. I mean, who would have thunk it? And there's the beauty of a rotating jig. Makes it a little easier to get to some of those pesky cuts without too much strain. By leaving that edge distance to your primary cut, that allows you to come back and do a much slower and a much finer cut down to that final line. Then you want to make sure you have an inch radius in this portion here. Making a cut like this radius with your snips can leave some pretty rough edges, and so you really want to make sure you get in there and you check that to make sure you've got everything smoothed out so you don't have something that's going to develop into a crack later. Good idea to use a magnifying glass, especially if you're over 40. If you're wondering how to get up there and cut this skin underneath this leading edge, just take out some of these rivets on this nose rib, and I'll show you why. See, there's a hole right there, and that rib faces inboard, and so taking these rivets out here is no problem. That'll allow you to lift this skin up and make that cut. There are times you've really got to keep your head in your job. Harry did a good job on the drawings. There are a couple things left to the imagination. It takes a little bit of creativity and a little bit of thinking of exactly how to extract the ribs without damaging anything. And you can see that most of them are out now, except this one that was just outboard of the old tank. And you need to remove the stringers, both the upper and the lower stringers, so that you can extract that one. Otherwise, the hat section that remained in the old tank bay gets in the way of tipping that one out that way. But other than that, pretty clean so far. Pretty happy with this kit. Pretty happy with Harry's STC. This is an awesome deal. Once you get the stringers cut off, you can get you a wedge and get it underneath the stringer, because you've got a couple holes outboard past where you need to drill. And to get your file and dress up at the end, use a round file and get in there, clean up any birds that you have on that stringer. That's a good way to do it. You might use your little inspection mirror to see what you're doing over here. The plans call for this station 71 rib to come out and to cut it 7 inches. Actually, it doesn't tell you to leave it in there and try to cut it off while it's in there, or take it out and cut it. I just opted to take it out, get a cleaner job that way. You don't have to try to use a hacksaw. You can just take your nips. It comes out actually in a really nice spot to cut it, so you don't have any kind of disfiguring of the rib. And then the other thing is this little strap. You got to cut that strap, this doubler. And you can't cut it in there because where it ends is right on the remaining hat section that's left in that tank bay. So there was only about a half a dozen number 3s to take out, to take the strap out. That way you can radius all your corners and file them off. And if you get really fancy, you can always etch it and do a chromate on it. The whole thing. I think that's probably what we're going to do. I'm going to talk to my client, see if that's what he wants. Anyway. Onward and upward. So once you're inside here, it's a great opportunity to look for corrosion. There's a little bit of superficial stuff here. It's not bad, it's just surface corrosion, but we'll take care of that, and then we're going to go ahead and prime the surface after we decorrode it. Another really good place that you want to look is right on the attached fitting itself. This is one of the first places you're going to see corrosion start growing, but I don't see any indications that this has a problem. Well, we've got both wings tore apart and we're ready to do some decorroding and some priming. And as you can see, we've got some good tool creep going on as well. So it's time to regroup, clean up, prime, paint, and start working on the assembly.